Hello, and welcome to another week on the run. So this is week commencing 6th of December, Monday, 2021, of course. So as usual, fuel prices to start the vlog. So UK fuels this week, it is the Shell card I get for UK fuels, 113.18. And the BWC or Block card, which is their own card, controlled for diesel, uses a Key Fuels network. That's 112.5 pence plus the VAT, so that's the cheaper one this week. So I'm going to be using that one. So that with the VAT, that's 135 pence on the nose, exactly 135 pence. That's the first time that card, the Blocker card, has been cheaper for a few weeks now. I've used the Shell card for UK fuels for at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. The good news about Shell fuel prices in general is they've gone down again. Still got a fair way to go to where they were before they started going up like a crazy amount, whatever happened a few months ago. But yeah, the cheapest price last week was, like I say, the UK fuels one, and with the VAT that's basically 139.5. So it's come down about 4.5 pence. The inclusive VAT price, which is kind of what I work off anyway, because I mentioned before, I am VAT registered on the flat rate scheme, so I keep some of the VAT, but then I can't claim back individually like the VAT on fuel. So I just kind of think of my costs as plus VAT, and then I think the bit I keep is extra earnings. Anyway, yeah, so that's fuel prices. I was a bit late starting this morning. Started about 25 past 10. Part of the reason I was a bit late was because of the fuel prices. So I was thinking the end of last week when the fuel prices came through, I could see it was going to be a fair bit cheaper. I needed to put like 90 litres in a van to fill up. So it was maybe like a quarter of a tank left, just under. I thought I might as well wait until Monday then and get it 4.5 pence a litre cheaper. Because that saved me like about £4. 4 quid's 4 quid at the end of the day. It's one of my meal deals for today for nothing. That's the way I look at it. But it did mean this morning I wasn't ready to go straight from the house. I had to go and get fuel before I could start looking for jobs. So I got a job just before 11, so it didn't take that long to get a job, about half an hour. The feed was reasonably busy. Job I was really surprised to get, it was from Lichfield, so I was 13 miles from it, just outside Lichfield, going down to Caerphilly, sort of just to the north of Cardiff, just at the base of the valleys. And it was a car job, one parcel, 135 miles loaded. The way I worked it out was, I can't remember exactly how I worked out, but I went in at £1 a mile, so £135, and got it. Didn't get it straight away. They rang me like 10 minutes late after I quoted. Happy to get it. Went and collected it. Like I say, one box from some unit in a business park, and then I delivered it down here. Straightforward drive. It was to another small building, something to do with clouds. So I think it's like data center type cloud sort of thing. Not that big a unit, but anyway, delivered to there. Quick tip as well. And it was I managed to go a shorter way to get to the collection. Still got there in time because it was like set collection 11:30. And I'd save a few miles off on the way down, so it worked out over 90 pence a mile, 92 pence a mile maybe, all in miles. So that was pretty good, really. That was a car job. So it's one of them jobs that I didn't have. It was a bit of a punt. Didn't think it stood much chance, but you got to be in it to win it. So it's it came off. So I got down here, sort of like getting like mid-afternoon then. Job pinged up about, when was it? Just after 3 it was. This job pinged up. It's pretty quiet, this feed down here. Picking up in Bridgend at 4, but can't deliver until 8 o'clock, meeting a fitter in the middle of Cardiff. And I thought, well, not many people can do that job because it's a late tip and it's obviously lots of dead time waiting. So I thought all in it was going to be about 40 miles or just under 40 miles getting there and delivering it. So I thought for going at 80 quid, which is like £2 a mile for me, all miles, and it's like close to, it was 23 miles loaded, so close to £4 a mile. Loaded miles only, and I got it. So I had quite a leisurely afternoon. Went and picked it up. It was glass from a place that cuts glass and stuff. Yeah, and then I went and sat around. What did I do? I sat somewhere, watched stuff fit on my tablet. Watched some stuff on YouTube, and then I've delivered it. It was right in the centre. It was the department store in the St David's Centre. So in the middle of Cardiff, there's a St David's Centre. Didn't realise, because I've been to Cardiff a few times, centre on stag do's. There's a huge like shopping centre type place, and the delivery point, quite interesting actually, for the road for it, goes under it, so you go pretty much underground, under the high street. So whenever they built that, it must have been a massive construction project. Yeah, so delivered it, got there slightly early actually, maybe 10 to 8. Fitters are on site, tipped me really quickly. Usual thing about I can't keep the pallet because we had to handball it off. Took 2 minutes, and there we go. Right, we'll just take the pallet. So no awkward conversation there. And that was it, done for the day. So only 2 jobs. Well, 2 jobs is pretty much my standard, but takings wise for the day is 215, which is obviously £5 below my minimum target for day 220. But I did start late, and because of pounds per mile, all miles for the day, I've worked it out is about £1.20 from when I left the house this morning, or when I got my first job. To finishing that job, it's basically, I've done that profit wise is 155, so that's really what I need to be focusing on, and doing that 150 or more average a day over the week. So that is the start of the day, Monday. So yeah, don't know if I did say at the start, but yeah, I'm planning a full 5 days this week. Probably going to be my last full 5-day week of the year, because after this week, next week, the van's in a garage again on Monday to have a part replaced under warranty. An intercooler pipe goes from the turbo to the intercooler because it's got a dodgy attachment where it clips onto the intercooler and it's loose, so I'm losing a bit of boost pressure there. I might say more of that when it gets fixed, hopefully. And then the following week is the last week before Christmas, and it probably won't work Christmas Eve because I think it's a bit of a waste of time, because well, it dies off Christmas Eve. There's a lot of places shut early for Christmas, so a lot of places you'd normally pick up from is shut and deliver to is shut. So yeah, that's it so far, but I'm obviously in Cardiff filming an update. So Gair Cymraeg y Dydd, Welsh word of the day. Yes, not done one of these in a while, so I delivered slap bang into the middle of Cardiff today, right next to sort of pedestrianised zone and all that stuff. So the Welsh word for centre, as in town centre, is canol, and I can put this on the screen. I'm not sure if I've done this one before. Kind of lost track of what I have done and haven't done with these, so let me know if I've done it already. Don't think I have. So it's canol. I can put this on a screen because you just say it in English and you'll pronounce it properly. C-A-N-O-L, canol, or canol a dref, you might see on signs, which means town centre. Yeah, so canol centre. Right, Tuesday night now. I am parked up for the night in my usual spot in Stanwell, by just to the south of Heathrow. I'm tramping here tonight, but how did I get here? So didn't actually mention it yesterday, but when I filmed the last bit, I actually had a job booked in for this morning, and that's one of the good things about when you got jobs where you got to wait around. it means as long as you're getting paid for waiting around, which it kind of was yesterday, it gives you kind of time. I knew I was going to be in the Cardiff Newport area. I could bid for jobs in the morning, just watch the feed, because I'm not driving obviously. So a job did ping up from Newport, collection in Newport, collection in Hemel Hempstead, and then delivering to Woking, delivering both of them, picking up a pallet from each. Long wheelbase job. Was it? Yeah, it was a long wheelbase job. It was down at 185 miles loaded. I priced it at 170, even though it had 2 collections, and I thought it's a good chance I'll get it at that because it's got 2 collections. I'm bidding less than £1 a mile, even though it's quite a long job. Yeah, and I got it. The downside was it wasn't collecting until 10, so that kind of, I was a bit humming and hawing, do I bid, because it means I'm going to have to kill time till 10. It's a bit of dead time at the beginning of the morning. But being in Cardiff, stuff not the busiest area, sometimes it's better. It's like the old bird in a hand is worth 2 in a bush kind of thing. So yeah, I thought forget it, picking up at 10, it's not the end of the day, end of the world even. So yeah, I got that. I had a bit of a tramp near Tesco, this is close to the coast, to the Newport side of Cardiff, to the east of Cardiff. I've tramped there a few times now. It's one of my little spots, just like this where I'm stopping now tonight, Stanwell. Stopped here probably half a dozen times at least. I've stopped in that place in Cardiff 2 or 3 times now, so I'm kind of getting around the country areas that I know are decent to tramp in. That just comes with experience. Yeah, so I went and picked up this morning. It was magazines, 1 pallet of magazines in Newport, from a big company that does like papers and magazine distribution. You probably guess who it is if you know anything about that line of business. And then I was picking up from another of their sites in Hemel Hempstead, but it wasn't on pallets there. It was just 15 loose bundles, so I just took them loose. They said, do you want us to put them on a pallet for you? And I'm like, no, I'll take them like that, because a lot quicker to handball on 15 little bundles of magazines than it is wait for some guy to put on a pallet and wrap it all up. And yeah, just quicker just to handball it sometimes. And then straight through to the tip, which was, I don't know, some kind of media company. Didn't look like a printers or anything, different company, but I think maybe a smaller scale version of where I collected from. It's an industrial state unit. That was in Woking, so that was getting on for maybe 2:30 by the time I was tipped there. The reason I took it to Woking, I mean, I said before, it's hard to get jobs out of London and like Heathrow area. But I think when you're down towards Woking, Guildford, which is kind of like to the southwest of the M25, about a quarter of an hour drive from the M25, I seem to find it's easier to get jobs. I think there's less people down there, you're just kind of a bit out of the way, and it's still a reasonably busy area. And I was bidding on longer jobs initially. When it got to like 3:45, a job pinged up, clicked in very close to where I was, 3 miles from where I was. It's 23 miles loaded, so 26 miles all in. So it was a collection close to where I was. I forget what the place is called now, but very close to Woking. And then going to an office in this sort of Heathrow area to pick up some paperwork, and then delivering to one of the freight terminals in the Heathrow area, not the Heathrow Horseshoe, the TW6 place, nightmare place, but another place I've been to before, like Stanwell side. And these things, some kind of camera equipment from a camera supply shop place, and then it was going to the UAE. It's going on Emirates Airlines to UAE. Yeah, so, and it was all pretty straightforward really. They tipped me quick as well, but you know, I needed 2 forms of ID. Took me a little while to get through security, sat at the security gate, just one of them places, but yeah, once I was in, they tipped pretty sharpish, and that was today done. So that put me on 235 for today, which is obviously above my minimum takings target of 220, but below what I really want to be 250. But as I said yesterday, really the main important thing is I want to be doing at least 150 quid after costs, which is kind of like my wage or my income, pre-tax and other deductions, and national insurance, because I'm a sole trader. So yesterday was like 155. I've worked it out today was more like 160, so I've hit target for today. I do think this CX is a bit busier this week than it has been the last couple of weeks. That's in my initial impression 2 days in. So maybe this is kind of like the Christmas rush, but it's still not exactly mega busy sort of thing, but I'm getting a lot more calls. So yeah, the job I got a job booked in for tomorrow. It's from 4 miles from my last tip. It's going 96 miles to short wheelbase job to just the Trowbridge, I think it is, just this side of Bath in the countryside, Bath, whatever you want to call it. I quoted 90. He rings me up and says, "Can I do it for 85?" I told he's got on a job, that old line. And I hummed it out and I thought, yeah, go on, I'll do it. Because it's 100 miles all in, 85 quid is still my minimum all miles, pence per mile that I try and do. And it's getting me away from this area. It's taking me to a quieter area, but I'd rather be, and it's picking up between 7 and 8. So I'm going to get there at 7, get loaded, try and get it off between 9 and 10. And where I will be there, jobs do come up, nowhere near as many as here, but there'll be a heck of a lot less competition. So you've got like Chippenham, Trowbridge, Warminster, Bath itself, and then I'll try and get a decent job from there. That'll be the plan. And it's, starting a lot early, getting some early runs on the board. So that is Tuesday and tomorrow's first job. Yeah, right. This light's getting a bit of a pain. So it is Wednesday night now. Good day today. 3 jobs. So yeah, I started, didn't I, down by Heathrow. I'm pretty sure I mentioned the job booked in for the morning. Picking up at 7, or between 7 and 8. Got there slightly early, maybe 25 to 7. Maybe 20 to 7. And I was loaded straight away. There was nobody else there. Pallets were good to go. He loaded me, so I was out there like 7:05. So happy days. Straightforward drive down to Trowbridge. Nice part of the world. I love that sort of area, just north of the Salisbury Plain, like Trowbridge, to sort of like to the east of Bath. Really nice part of the world. Drove through. Actually went a slightly different way there than the CX route. Had worked out the route, and it was, instead of being 97 miles, it was 87 miles. I had 3 miles to get to pick up, so it was 90 miles for 85 quid in the end. So worked out all right. And by going that more direct route, it was like 2 minutes longer. So like it's nothing really. It's a nicer drive as well. Got tipped really quick as well. Don't know what was in it. It was obviously something that come in as air freight, and then it went to some sort of distribution-y, warehousey thing in Trowbridge. Packed up just down the road, and there was quite a lot of jobs pinging up from Bristol. Probably like the busiest I've seen Bristol for a while. I do think, I said it earlier, I do think this week it is picking up. It has picked up. Probably why I'm doing quite well this week so far. I'm doing quite well. I don't want to curse it. Touch wood and all that. So I parked up outside, and a job pinged up from, is it Melcham or something like that? Melksham or something, by sort of Swindon way, Swindon postcode anyway. I think it's Melksham or something. Going to, crikey, where did that go? Ashton, near Nottingham, Ashton something. By Nottingham. Picked up it was 2 pallets. It was a short wheelbase job again. And she says, even though I put on a quote, I'm in long wheelbase, and she asks, how big's my van? I said, well, I'm actually in long wheelbase. My job's only short wheelbase. She says, all right, no trouble there then. Got the job through. had a bit of a pain at the pickup on this one. I was there for 50 minutes. The guy in the goods in is a really nice chap, really friendly guy, but he was getting a bit nagged with his employers because apparently they do it all the time. They get people coming in to collect stuff. They organise couriers and they don't say what the goods are or get them ready or anything like that, and it's all last minute kind of thing and people waiting around. It wasn't helped that the notes on a job, the contact name was a lady called Sharon. So he spoke to one Sharon who worked in marketing. Apparently she knew nothing about it, and then there was another Sharon, but they couldn't get hold of her. So he says, sorry mate, can't really do anything. So I rang the shipper back and he says, oh no, don't know why it says Sharon, it should be Tom. So I went back in and says, oh, it's Tom apparently. Tom knows about it. There was an error on the job. So he eventually got hold of his Tom guy. He wasn't answering the phone either, so he was getting proper worked up, this guy. Not with me, like, just getting a bit frustrated, understandably. And he's all really apologetic to me, saying, oh, sorry about your wait. Oh, it's not good, this, sorry. Anyway, eventually I did get loaded. It was 2 pallets. Not particularly heavy, I don't think, but one of them was quite tall. I think in my old van, I think it would have been borderline. Whether it would have fitted in my old traffic. I think this was really a medium wheelbase job, but I was there for 15 minutes. Job's debatable, really, whether it was short wheelbase, should have been a bigger van, but I thought, do I ring them? I thought, no, just get going. Yeah, I think I got 155 quid on this. Can't remember the mileage anyway, but it worked out alright. And this was another one where I managed to shave off some miles anyway, even though they knocked, I think I quoted 158, they knocked me down to 155. It's like 3 quid on a job, that value's nothing. So just go with it. If it means you get the job, I think it was maybe on a job 5 hours for 155 quid, which is, no, I don't think that's right, maybe it's 4 hours. Anyway, it worked out alright, about 30 quid an hour on the job. That was including the services stop for the toilet and never stop to get a sandwich, buy a sandwich. Yeah, so I eventually got loaded. The other end got tipped pretty sharpish, 20 minutes, so it's probably about an hour and 5, hour and 10 loading and unloading between the two. So I always find that if you get like delayed 15-20 minutes at collection, if you get tipped really quick, like 10-15 minutes, it's kind of okay really, especially in a job that length. For me, I find it's a shorter jobs where you get held up, long waiting and loading. On like a min charge job, that's where you end up working for not enough money. Yeah, so that was that one, and then parked up outside there, and then another job pinged up going to close to there, like 3 miles somewhere, going down to Northampton, that's where I am now. That was 2 pallets again from some engineering coatings company, and I dropped it down here to an engineering thingy. Got a phone call. Well, hey, tomorrow morning's job booked in. Yeah, so look like Maid Marian wearing this. Anyway, yeah, so it dropped that job off for 5:15. So that was 70 quid for that one, about just over £1 a mile or something. Is it maybe just slightly less than £1 a mile? So it was a pretty good day today. 3 jobs, £310, 330 miles, just like 94 pence a mile today, all miles. And I worked it out because I started this week. I normally work out my profit, my earnings for the week at the end of the week, but I kind of started this week working each day. I thought I'll carry on for the rest of the week. Just give a bit of insight to that. So I think I've gone, Monday was 155 earnings, which is the profit. Yesterday was 160. And today was actually really good. It's 205, and I worked about just shy of 11 hours. That's like £18 or something an hour for the time I was actually working for, which is about 6:30 this morning, say to 5:15. So that's not bad, but obviously to do that I'm have to be willing to tramp. So I stayed in the van last night, and I'm staying in the van tonight. Tramping on a side street in Northampton, so went to a chippy, chicken meat and chips, kind of one of these half chippy, half doner kebab top places. Not the healthiest, but I did have some salad with it, some lettuce, so that helps. And when I parked up here around the back, I thought it's quite a quiet street this, and you know, you can park here. It's a good place to park, so I'm just going to stop here tonight. So I've got a job booked in for the morning now. It's just that phone call. Actually, bid quoted on that over an hour ago. Sometimes it's like that. You don't hear for ages, and you think, oh, you know, maybe it's a dud job, or they've forgotten about it, or whatever. And you're in that situation. If you really want a job, for me, once it's been a little while, I sometimes call, even if it says e-quotes only, if it's been like half an hour. But this job, I wasn't massively fussed about it. So, but the guy did ring me and give it me. So that's going back to Nottingham tomorrow. Some steel work from a fabrication shop 2 miles from where I am here. So, like I say, ideal. I can just stay here. Pick it up, and it's going up to Nottingham. And that's going to be about 73 miles all in, 75 quid a quoted. It's a long wheelbase job, but yeah, it gets me going at 8ish. Get the job off by 10 hopefully. So 75 quid for 2 hours work, that's pretty good for me, I think. So yeah, going well so far this week. Right, 11 o'clock Thursday night now, so I'm going to film this, go to bed shortly. I've been watching stuff on my tablet, should have filmed this earlier really. Yeah, so this morning started okay. So that job I had booked in, the guy rang me when I was filming the last one, it did say on the job pick up between 8 and 9. And then when I spoke to him, he says I'll pick up at 8 or just after, because that's when I'll get there or something, just after 8. So, and then I got a text in the morning saying pickup time has been adjusted. I thought it was an interesting word, adjusted, but till 8:30. So, you know, whatever, yeah. So I got there at 8:30 or 25 past. No one there. Phoned the guy, well, messaged the guy because he'd sent me a text, so I just replied to his text. The guy who's supposed to be meeting there to sort me out, he'd been delayed in traffic apparently, but some of his colleagues turned up and loaded me, so I was out of there by 9. So yeah, not as ideal. I was hoping it'd be a real quick load, but hey ho. Straightforward drive up to Nottingham, sort of like the eastern side of Nottingham, so the opposite side to the M1. Got to a tip point, and when I got there I realised this company was on 2 different industrial units, like down the road from each other, so I wasn't entirely sure if I was at the right one. Somebody did come there and he wasn't sure if I was supposed to have the right one, because there wasn't any paperwork with this job, but I just had to write out one of my bucket pad blank delivery notes for it. Anyway, in the end they just tipped me where I was, the building I turned to, so yeah, wasn't as quick as tip, was probably 20 minutes. Could have been a lot quicker, could have been a 5-minute job really. There you go. Parked there for a while, didn't get a job straight away. When I did get a job, it was about 20 past 12. And it was a job, quite a long job, 215 miles it said. What size job was this? It was medium wheelbase, I think it said. Turned out to be just one pallet. I think it was reasonably heavy. But nowhere near my max load or anything. Can't remember where it was. It was 17 miles west of where I was. Picking up at 1, so I got there 5 to 1, got loaded. It was like labels for if you buy chicken fillets or whatever in a tray, in them plastic trays like you get in the supermarket. You got labels on the front, I'll say whatever supermarket it is, and there's quite a few different labels on there for different supermarkets. Looking at the delivery note for this one, and I went to like a poultry processing factory down here in Clumpton, which is just off the M5 in Devon, so I don't often come this far down, but I thought, well, if I get that job, it's actually a bit less miles when I put it into sat nav. It's 209. It worked out about 88 pence a mile all in miles, which isn't too bad on a job that long, which was medium wheelbase. So that's put me down here. Got down here about 5ish. Got tipped, just about 5ish. Obviously 24-hour place, factory, and then I've had a chicken biryani, treat myself to an Indian, that was very nice. Like I said, just sat around watching stuff on iPlayer. Nothing booked in for tomorrow, but obviously it's Friday, I need to get back up to the Midlands. But yeah, I worked out today, 275, 90 odd pence a mile, all miles, quite high actually, quite decent again today. Doing well on the pence per mile this week. Still on overall, up until now, I'm still over £1 a mile, all miles since Monday. I'm doing alright on the takings as well, but today basically 275, and then when I work that out, what I'm actually pre-tax, what my earnings are, my profit comes out at 180 today, so 30 quid on schedule. So yeah, doing alright this week. So yeah, I'm gonna go to bed now. Get up at 7 in the morning, start looking, just be ready for jobs. So I'm not far from Exeter here. Jobs come out of Exeter, Taunton. They're sort of in half hour, if not less. Looking to hopefully get a job sort of up to, obviously the Midlands would be ideal, but if I get an earliest job up more towards Bristol, that'll be alright. If I get a job over there closer to home, but that is Thursday done. Right, Friday afternoon now, about 20 to 7. Just got home to last on a run update. So this morning woke up about set my alarm for 7:15. Started looking for jobs when I got up then. There was actually a fair few jobs, not early morning, but when it got to like 8:30ish. I mean, that part of Devon I don't think is actually too bad. People talk about Devon being really slow, and it is quite slow. I've been to far south into the southwest as Plymouth, and I managed to get out, but I think round Exeter way, so Exeter's like right at the bottom of the M5, isn't too bad. Then you got Taunton, so it's kind of like halfway between Cullompton, halfway between Exeter and Taunton, and we're slightly closer to Exeter. But yeah, there was some jobs coming out of Exeter, but obviously I've been a Friday, kind of an eye on getting home, so I was being a bit selective with jobs. So it had to be kind of take me to home part of the way, or a decent job and getting me closer to home, preferably a lot like really close to home. But couldn't really, it's one of them awkward situations for me on a Friday where I'm in a quiet area but not totally dead area, so you can't be too fussy about what you go for. But then it's a Friday, I want to get sort of back towards the West Midlands and get home. In the end I got a job about 9:20. I got it, and it was a short wheelbase job from Exeter. I can't remember how many miles it was from it, maybe 17 or something. It was 225. I basically priced it at 85 pence a mile straight through, and it came out, it was like 206 or something. So I quoted 208. And he rang me up and says, can we round it to 200? And I just says yeah. In terms of destination, it was taking me from Exeter to just south of Cambridge, which obviously isn't that close to home, but I thought I'm going to get there mid-afternoon, hopefully get something getting closer to home. Picked it up. It was 2 panels of, I think it's kind of like laminated panels, all the way from Exeter to Cambridge. Delivered it to a private house. So tipped it about 3ish, just before 3 o'clock, and I was kind of hoping, like I say then, to get a job taking me towards the Midlands, or if not, like a min-charge job around there, which would give me some money in the bank to sort of cover some dead miles getting home. As it happened, that was it. The only job I got. It was really quiet. I was like just south of Cambridge. Cambridge isn't a mad busy area, but really, it was like really quiet for some reason Friday afternoon, like maybe 2 or 3 jobs every 10 minutes. So I sat there till just after 4 and thought, actually did the maths. I worked out it was 108 miles from home, which is 43 miles closer to home than Exeter was. But even if I did them 108 miles home empty, my pence per mile, all miles of the week, would still be just over 90 pence a mile. So that's pretty good. That's kind of 85 is the minimum target for the week, but really want it to be 90 plus. And I've done just shy of my 12.50 for the week. So not the end of the world if I drove home empty, and that's what I ended up doing. And once I'm driving, you can't really look for jobs. Well, you know, it's kind of illegal to be on your phone, isn't it? And looking at notifications and scrolling and all that stuff. So just had to say, yeah, I'm going home empty, and that's it for the week. So yeah, got some fuel on the way home, so filled up for Monday. And that is the end of today, or end of the week on the run. Right, Friday afternoon now, so just going to film a quick summary. And look, daylight. So yeah, part of the reason I'm only doing these bi-weekly now is because it's dark most of the time. When I'm filming, it's dark, so I can't really go for a walk and film different areas I go. So it's less interesting for me on the job. Tramping this time of year isn't so much fun, and I think it's just makes for less interesting content, which is partly why I've gone to doing it bi-weekly. Anyway, so yeah, summary and the numbers. So full 5 days on the run this week, which is obviously 4 nights. Didn't make it home any nights this week. Last week I worked 3 days, which was 2 nights, and I got home both nights. And this week it was 4 nights and didn't get home any. It's just how it goes sometimes. Yeah, so ended up being a pretty reasonable week in the end. But kind of could have been better, and Friday kind of spoilt it a bit, but we'll get to that. So Monday, 2 jobs, 135 and 80 for 215. Tuesday, 170 plus 65, which is 235. Best takings day of the week was Wednesday, 85, 155 and 70, which is 310. Thursday, 2 jobs, 75 and 200, which is £275. And Friday, that 1 job, the kind of like disappointing day of the week, worst day of the week, which was £200. So that comes to a total of 1,235. I'm actually divided by 5. It's going to be less than 250, which is kind of like my takings target for the week. But as I'm kind of stressing the last few weeks, it's more about really profit. That's what really counts. So I didn't quite hit. I met my minimum target, which is 220 or 1,100 for the week, but not quite my real target. In terms of takings, mileage 1,361. That's from leaving the house here on Monday morning to getting back yesterday evening on a Friday. All miles loaded and unloaded. So the all miles pence per mile is 90.7, which again my minimum target is 85, but really I wanted to be doing 90 plus, so I just kind of shaved to know than my sort of real target rather than my minimum target, if you know what I mean. Maybe I should just have one target, I don't know. Right, so there's no additional charges this week. Didn't stay in the accommodation. Like I say, 4 nights in the van. No tolls or anything that I can remember. So once I work out my actual takings, including the bit of VAT I get to keep, which I treat as takings, because I do have to pay tax on that, so I just treat it as extra income to the business. Takings minus my fixed costs, which is £20 a day, so £100 a week for a 5-day week, and then minus 33 pence a mile, which is my variable cost, which is fuel, which is 18 pence a mile, depreciation on a van, which is like 8 pence a mile, and then all the rest goes into, you know, maintenance, tyres, servicing, brakes, all that kind of stuff goes into the variable costs, which is like dependent on how many miles I do. Comes out as a pre-tax profit of £785, which is £157 a day. So I did get over my My real target is I want to average over the year £150 a day profit, which is kind of like my wage. So that's not my take home. That's not what I'm, got to spend in my normal day-to-day life. That's pre-tax, so I'm going to pay tax on that, obviously, and national insurance, being the sole trader. So it turned out all right in the end. I hit target slightly over, but I worked out up until Thursday evening, my all miles pence per mile was £1, well, 102 pence a mile, so really high for the first 4 days, and my takings was averaging over 250 a day. So that was working out up until the 4 days, up until and including Thursday, I was averaging £175 a day profit. So that Friday, the £200 job, and taking it from Exeter to Cambridge, and then not getting another job, either a local min charge in Cambridge or ideally something getting closer to home, and it being really quiet in Cambridge. Friday kind of like not ruined the week because I still hit target, but really dented the figures for the week. But it's one of them, what do you do? Like I said, I was in a quiet area, can't be too fussy next to that part of the world. So can't be too fussy, but then if I didn't go for that job, maybe I would have got a better job going to the Midlands, or it would have worked out better, but you just don't know. And kind of, I shouldn't really go to quiet areas like that on a Thursday, last job, into the Thursday late afternoon, evening, because then I'm not in a great position for Friday to get home without too many dead miles. But still not massively busy. I think it's picked up this week slightly compared to what it was the last couple of months. So it's like there's 2 more weeks before Christmas now, so it should really be raving busy now, but it's not still, but even though it's picked up a bit. But then yesterday afternoon, Friday, just seemed really quiet. You just don't know. It's very odd at the moment. As I said before, I joined the CX. I got the van, my old van, started doing this 6 weeks before the first COVID lockdown, so I don't really know what it's normally like. So I can't really offer any advice on that. And just know anyone else's comments on how does it compare now to, say, December 2019 in terms of the number of jobs going on there, the amount of work available on there, because you can gauge how many jobs are going on there. What you can't gauge is how many people are going for them. So when you're out and about looking at the feed, you get a feeling of how busy it is. And as I do sometimes, you can run your normal search and see how many jobs are pinged up and whether it's got busier or quieter, which I still occasionally do, but not as often as I used to. But you can't tell how many, only the shippers will know how many bids they're getting, quotes on a job. Still think it's very much a seller's market, shippers market. So anyway, that's the numbers for the week. Like I say, it's my last full week before Christmas and last full week before of 2021. Because a few things to do to the van. It's in the garage again on Monday to have this intercooler pipe replaced, which goes from the turbo to the intercooler, which is the one that's leaking. And there's some oil dripping from it. And they've said to me when I dropped it off, I wasn't very happy with them, and they said, oh yeah, we'll look into where the oil's come from, even though they were saying, that's normal and it's not excessive and all this stuff. I think, not happy with the dealers really, and it's the only one I can take it to around here. It's not even that close, Stourbridge, it's like 12 miles from home. All the ones that are close to Nissan can't work on a van this size. So they're going to replace that. They're going to look at the turbo. So they're going to replace the hose, hopefully look into a turbo. And it's lost power, which I did mention to them when I booked it in for a service, but when I didn't actually write it down, so they don't really properly looked into that, and it's reduced MPG. But when I spoke to the service manager, I told him that, because I was getting on the computer, maybe the first 30,000 miles, I was getting like anywhere between 36 and 38 on a computer, and I worked out when I actually do the maths from my fuel receipts, it's actually slightly better than that. Whereas now it's kind of in the 30 to 32, which is kind of more like 33, 34. Actually, what I'm getting, it seems to read low the van trip, slightly low, but it's dropped like 15 to 20%. It does feel the van as well just seems to struggle a bit over the hills. So like on the Friday, I had a very light load on. I would say maybe 70 kilos max, and the A303, beautiful road from Devon over to sort of by Basingstoke, where you join the M3. Very rolling terrain, the Salisbury Plain and stuff, past Stonehenge, and yeah, you just feel it going up the hills. It's just not going up the hills like it used to. So yeah, in terms of the van, would I recommend buying a Nissan NV400? I wouldn't, to be honest. No, I'm kind of like, I had problems with my old Renault. That was new, Renault Traffic. You give them a bit of leeway, because a lot of modern vans with all the pollution stuff have issues, but in general now I'm just a bit disappointed in the van. I'm also, the service I'm getting from the dealer I'll take it to, and like I say, it's very limited where I can take it. So if I want to get a second opinion, how far am I going to have to go away? So what I'd suggest, if you want to get this type of van, I'd say don't buy the Nissan. The only reason I bought the Nissan instead of the Renault is because this comes as standard with cruise control, whereas on a Renault it's like an option extra, or like a thing or whatever. The van's more expensive. But with hindsight, if I'd have bought a Renault, I could take it to the Renault truck dealership. They're going to be far more familiar with AdBlue systems and all that kind of stuff, because trucks have all got it, and I think they're more likely to resolve issues rather than ones that just Ponzi cars and car mechanics who probably don't work much on commercial vehicles and stuff like that. So that's where I'm at with the van, but see what happens on Monday. I do wonder if it's got like a cracked manifold or something, or maybe the turbo's not boosting as it should. There shouldn't be that much oil in the intercooler pipe. So that's that. In other news, other van news, have a look at this. Yeah, so on Friday morning when I was on the way to my pickup in Exeter, something hit my windscreen, just a chipping or whatever, which, to be honest, doing this kind of mileage probably happens at least definitely once a week, maybe even twice a week. You get that horrible noise of a stone or something hitting your windscreen. So it's happened countless times and got away with it so far. This one, I heard it, and then I went to do the pickup, and then I was driving along the A303, looking round, enjoying obviously paying attention to the road, but I'm having a quick look at the scenery because it's beautiful. Look to my left. What the hell's that? Yeah, it's obviously actually chipped the windscreen this time and cracked, so it doesn't seem to have grown through the day. It's gone out to it wasn't initially going to the edge of the windscreen, but it is now, but it hasn't gone any further into my field of view. So I'm going to have to sort that out. I'm pretty sure it's included on my insurance, but I'm going to have to pay the excess. I don't know what that is yet. I need to look into that today. It's one of my to-do jobs today. I'm feeling in a productive mood today, hence why I'm filming this on a Saturday. So yeah, so that's other news number one. Other news number two, I've had a speeding fine. So when I did a few weeks ago, I did this, went up to Scotland, and I got a job down to London to the studios. I was driving through South Yorkshire, probably about 9:30 at night. Variable speed limit 60, and it went down to 50. The big signs above the thing. I didn't see it till it was too late. Obviously, it's my fault. Should have been paying more attention. Went through. It did flash, and I was kind of expecting it. And sure enough, I was doing 58 apparently, and I went past. So I've had to send that off to them, declaring, yeah, it was me. And then hopefully I can do a speed awareness instead of getting the points. I've only ever been done for speeding once in my life. I passed my test about 20 years ago, so that's the second time. First time I did it, first time I got it, I don't think there was anything, and it's like years and years and years ago, there's no such thing as speed awareness. So I had 3 points, and then they obviously lapsed after 3 years. I had a clean license for years, so a bit disappointed about that. I do sometimes find these variable speed limits on motorways, it's changing all the time, up, down, like 50, 60, 50, 40, and you're thinking, why the hell is it changing? Is it just trying to catch people out? with this one, it was a fair cop really, because they were setting out some roadworks just further down the road. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I got caught speeding. I was speeding. I should have been paying more attention. Hopefully I can get away with speed awareness, but that's going to be a day I can't work if I do that. But I'd rather do that than get 3 points. But a parking fine as well. So I didn't have a good week that week, the Scotland week. Got a parking ticket on the way down, and then when I tipped in Elstree in Borehamwood, I parked in the Tesco car park to use their toilet and then look for another job. That was the day of the £0 day. And I've had a Horizon parking letter through, and I got back yesterday saying I'd exceeded the 3 hours. I was actually there over 7 hours. So I've got to pay 70 quid, or as a goodwill gesture, if I pay early, it's 30 quid. So I'm just going to have to pay that one. Take that one on the chin as well. I can't remember. Normally, like if I ever park in a place, I'll always check on the signs. And back of my mind, did I just like blank out on this one? Maybe I don't know. Just didn't check when I should have done. I normally would. Well, got in the back of my mind, I did check, and it wasn't. I didn't say anything about limited time on the notices around the car park, but can't exactly go and check easily. If anyone's around Elstree, Borehamwood, Tesco's, the one next to the studios, let me know in the comments. But I think I'm just going to have to pay that one. So speeding fine, parking fine, cracked windscreen. Yeah, that's it for the week really. So going to do 4 days max next week. So it's definitely the Irish Monday. Who knows, if they find something else, it might be in longer. In some ways, if it does need stuff replacing, need work doing, I'd rather they just kept it in and got it done, rather than get it back not running right on the Tuesday. So max 4 days next week, and then the following week is the week before Christmas, and the Friday is Christmas Eve. So I think I'll work Monday to Thursday then. But that'll obviously be a vlog week. But that's this week. As ever, thanks for watching. Quite a long one, like I say, a lot of me just filming in the dark with a bulkhead. You know, it's not so interesting if you watch this far. Well done. Any tips or anything gone through the week, please put them in the comments below for me or anyone else. Please like and subscribe and all that jazz, and thanks for watching.